Why are you not working? Saving. I'd like to view you. Really? Hmm. Hmm? Top right? Where are you? Oh, edit in PowerPoint. I see.
Oh, these never open it in PowerPoint. Never mind.
Okay, so you're saying that this is messed up. All right, sorry guys, we're having some technical difficulties. Save as, download a Oh. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, so I just wanted to start off the meeting by saying thank you. It's been a while since we've had our last meeting, and since then we've had a few different events that we've done. So for everyone that has come out and participated, whether it was for volunteering or for fundraising, or even filling out the survey that we sent you guys last week, we really appreciate you guys willing to dedicate your time. And so hopefully you guys have been enjoying it, and we just really appreciate your involvement. So speaking of the survey, I just wanted to highlight a few things that we noticed from the survey. I think the three biggest areas were about like the volunteer and fundraising events, kind of the nature of them, and then our meetings. So just in regards with the volunteering events, there seem to be some questions about how the money is being divided between them. So generally, most of the events will probably be divided among the people that actually attend conference. Obviously, the money that we're raising is for the conference. So in order for you guys to receive that, you have to attend conference. So if you do not attend conference, you will not be a part of the fundraising money. That being said, there are a few different fundraisers where we feel like the money needs to be spent like for individual people who go, such as the yard sale. So I know for the yard sale, like if you came or if you donated items, you were a part of that. But it's not fair to split the yard sale money with people who didn't attend the yard sale. So we determined that based on our officer meeting, and we felt like that was the fairest option for everybody. If you guys have questions about it though, feel free to ask us about it. We are trying to do events where it's not like that, where it is more kind of like the Chipotle one, where it's more group based. So we don't have to individually track like who did what, and we can just raise something for the larger group. But if you guys would like to do more individual based ones, we're obviously open to those as well. And then I just noticed for the availability of things, that was also a big thing of why people weren't participating in different things. So it seemed like weekday mornings and weekend mornings are the most popular times when people would like to volunteer in events or do fundraising events. So in the moving forward, we will try and schedule those during those times, since those tend to be easier. And obviously with next semester, we'll have a better idea of what the OT1 schedule is now that Catherine's a part of our exec team. So we'll really try to make sure that it fits with both OT1 and OT2 schedules. For the actual events themselves, people were saying that they wanted longer time frames. I know last year some people did only events that were the 6 hours in one shot. We will try to accommodate as best we can. It's just a little difficult sometimes to find events that are 6 hours. So just be patient with us. We'll try our best, but we can't always guarantee that there will be events that are going to be 6 hours. So we're really trying to encourage people to start now and do the ones that are only a few hours here and there and just build up. That way, if it comes time and we don't offer one that is 6 hours, you're like, oh gosh, crap, now I have to do so many within a limited time frame. And then the last thing was the meetings. A lot of people said that we have too many meetings. Unfortunately, I can't do much about that. We are required to have as many meetings as the campus does, which is 10 throughout the year, so 5 for each semester. They are designed to be scheduled once a month. However, there are things that come up. With this semester, August is technically considered a month, but that was really only a week. And obviously that's not able to get a meeting in at that time. And then we don't want to have meetings over finals. we don't schedule meetings in December and we don't schedule them in May because no one will attend them. So, and personally, we don't want to have to be responsible for giving meetings during finals. So, but because of that, then that does mean that we have to have other meetings, maybe sometimes twice a month versus once a month. And then just with the added of fall break, and then with the OT2s being out for field works, that is a 2-week gap that unfortunately we can't really work around. So just moving forward, it's going to be the same thing for the spring, because again, with spring break, and then we also have another field work, it's going to be the same. We try to schedule it so that it does spaced out, because we don't want to have 2 meetings back to back because there's not really a lot to talk about. But just wanted to clarify that process because not a lot of people probably understood why we have our meetings when we do. So, but again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Okay, volunteering. So the new volunteering events are going to be with Imagine. Is everybody familiar with Imagine? Okay, so it is a nonprofit organization up in Lafayette, and they work primarily for children and adults who have developmental disabilities. And they really focus on like community participation, kind of like social engagement, preparing people, like older people, for getting out into the workforce. So obviously very occupational therapy centered. They have said that they need help with a gift giving program that they have. Basically, it's going to be, they get a ton of donations in for the holidays, and we would be going there to help sort out the donations, match them with the families who have requested what they want or need for the holidays. And then the other thing is to participate in a job and life skills class. This one, which I think will be really interesting. They lead a bunch of different classes for things like art and yoga, creative writing, and they always need help to teach these to individuals. So we're going to try and get those set up. The thing about the gift giving one is obviously because it's centered around the holidays. We understand people are gone for the holidays, and then it's right around finals. So I wanted to see if you guys are interested in doing that one before I reach out to them saying we're committed to it, because I don't want to commit a bunch of people to do it if only 2 people end up showing up. And I understand that it is a crazy time. It would be between the 2nd to the 15th. So obviously the 15th, that's more towards the end of finals. But if we did something around like the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, would that be something you guys would work better for your schedules, do you think? I mean, you don't have to commit to it like right now, but do you think that that's something that people would be more interested in?
You would just need to commit to like a couple of days. Like, is that what you need with them?
Yeah, I'm just trying to give them, like, because she was like any day between that time frame, and it's from like 9 to 6 p.m. So it's really like any time frame that we can come in. And the nice thing about that is we can schedule it however long we want to be there. So if people are looking for longer time frames for volunteering, we can make it longer. But I understand, obviously, just with the finals and everything, that can be really difficult to schedule around. And I certainly don't want to schedule a time to volunteer when you guys would rather be studying for finals. So I just wanted to put it out there to see if people are interested in. And you don't have to answer me right now. If you guys want to email me or talk to me afterwards, feel free to do that. We're just trying to get an idea.
I think earlier would be better, or later in that gap. Because that, I don't know what the OT1 schedule is, but we're done with finals on Tuesday.
Which is what day?
The 13th.
Okay, so it could
So
work.
we could maybe do like the 14th or the 15th if people are done. I know we have some other assignments that are due, but we might be able to put something in there. But that might be something to look at.
Okay.
If you want
I know, I would
schedule too,
consider
and
doing
see.
like late.
Later after finals.
It looks like the OT1 you guys have. We have finals 13th, 14th, 15th.
Okay, well, we can always try and do like a day, but we could try to do a day earlier and a day later just depending on whichever one people want to volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay, so so just look out for an email from us to see when those actual dates are, but we'll get those to you hopefully within the week. And then the job and life skills class, they do it anytime Monday through Friday between like 9:30 to 3:30. So that's a little bit more open. If you guys would like us to get that set up for this semester, we are more than happy to, but just with it coming up to Thanksgiving and then finals right around the corner, we'll probably just wait and get this set up for next semester. Okay, all right. Oh man, I forgot to take that off. Okay, volunteering. And just to let you guys know, so we have the Ronald McDonald event on Tuesday the 15th from 5 to 8. There are still 2 open spots on there. I know a few of you guys participated in one before and wrote your names down for that one. We just moved your name to the waiting list. And so if those 2 spots are still empty, we'll have everybody, hopefully that's on the waiting list right now, move up. We did add bingo to that one, so that will have 2 extra people in addition to that. And we'll probably close this by sometime next week, just so that way we can tell the people who are on the wait list, like definitively, yes, you'll be able to participate.
So you'll contact us to verify.
Yeah. What? Oh, okay, sorry. We'll close it like on Friday then. We'll close it Friday, and then, so if no one has their name on by Friday, then the people, everyone that's on the wait list right now will be able to go and participate in Realm of McDonald. But Mandy will send you guys an email officially if you're going.
Is there like can we get like a new link or something? I like seen stuff lost.
Yeah,
Well.
Yeah, I always send it out at the end of the meeting,
Okay.
so I'll send it out tonight again.
And there's still Power Punch Parkinson's. I know a few people went and did it over the weekend and they had a really great time with it. They really enjoyed it. It's very like hands-on, it sounds like, and you get to actually work with individuals. So I know some people said the volunteering events aren't like as engaging as other ones. So if this is something that might be more your interest, because you actually get to work with people one-on-one. And then ignore the thing I have written about Dawn. Sorry about that. Okay, fundraising. So we raised $126 at the Chipotle fundraiser. Yeah. So to put that into perspective, we did a very conservative estimate of how many people we think are going to conference this year, and we came up with 16 between the 2 classes. Yeah, which, yes, very exciting. And while we are very thrilled that everybody wants to go to conference, that we are not as thrilled with how little money we have raised for conference. Right now, everyone gets a little under $8, which will not get you very far in Philadelphia. But so, and on the survey, people definitely said they were interested in going to conference. They want to have CUSOTA funds to help pay for conference. And fundraising was a big deal for them. So that is where we are trying to put a lot of our efforts to, but we need you guys to help participate. I know we haven't done a whole lot of them this year. We're gonna work on really getting some better ones for next year. But I just wanna ask about strategy for them, because we're trying to do things that are not selling items. I know both classes have done fundraisers where they're selling items, and it doesn't seem like we're getting a lot of response from those. So we were trying to avoid that route. But if that is something that you guys are interested in and you think that's a way that you can make money for conference, please let us know. We put up a few ideas of things to sell, but we are open to everything. And with the holidays coming around, that's a big time to do kind of those selling fundraisers. So please let us know if that's something you're interested in. But for right now, our big next fundraiser that we're trying to do is a trivia night for next semester. And so basically, we're looking for a space that we could rent out and have people come in, do trivia. We would just charge, $10, $15 for a ticket. And then you could bring friends, family, everybody. And we could just have, that's how we would raise money. And we're hoping that that would be like a bigger, better way to get money. But again, we need you guys to participate, and we want you guys to participate. So if that is something, if you guys have other ideas or you think that's not going to work, please let us know. Like, we are very open to trying to figure out how we can raise money for everybody. We would like everybody to have more than $8 to go to conference with. So please let us know. Okay, yes.
I just had a great thought.
Yes.
I guess like when I think about fundraising, I try to think of things where I don't have to give my money to get something back.
Okay.
So, example, whether it's good or bad with wreaths, I'm not going to buy a wreath for myself because I'm trying to get money because of the fact.
Sure.
Matter of the fact. So I'm going to sell to, so butter bread, sorry. I'm not going to buy a butter bread for myself because I don't need it, but regardless. But I want the money to come to me and to go into my funds for a conference. So I'm going to sell it to my church, I'm going to sell it to my family, I'm going to sell it to my friends so that I can have their money.
Okay.
I think when I think about like t-shirts, for example, I personally wouldn't do a t-shirt fundraiser because it's like, okay, let's do t-shirts, let's sell them. Okay, I'll buy one and spend $24 on it and get back $4. So I guess like and I can help brainstorm too.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I think of fundraising, I'm not thinking of like, am I going to have to buy it, or can I give it to other people to buy?
Sure.
To clarify for t-shirts, we weren't thinking like class t-shirts. We were
It's just
thinking
an
like,
example, and like
Yeah,
Chipotle goes the same way. Like if I were to have gone into Chipotle the other day and spent $8 and got back like 20% and then it's divided again, it's just like the same kind of like concept. But I'm more than willing to like help brainstorm for fundraising, but like in the bigger perspective, like that's how I see things. I try not to give my money to get less back.
no, I completely agree.
So if you want to get
For
together,
the
brainstorm,
t-shirts, we were looking at doing like a Colorado OT kind of
Okay.
themed t-shirt, so it would be something that we could send out to like all the OTs in Colorado, like try to send out to the Colorado Association and see if we could get a mailing list to send out to there or to lab adjuncts and see if they can send it out to other people. So I agree, we're trying to find things that aren't us spending money too. And that was supposed to be the point of Chipotle too, was to invite friends and family and other people to come, because then that's money that, I agree, that you're not really spending, but you're getting money back.
right.
I just
know
don't
if
feel like the
people-
things have been like
I don't know if
expanded the way that they should
everyone knows
be.
that, though. Like, not just people in CUSOTA. Like, I think we have an understanding of that, but when we talk to like our class about it, it's like, come here. Well, like, we don't want their money because we want them to have money too, you know? So I think maybe just like getting the message out more. Farther. And it can really help, so. Really help.
Cool.
I haven't thought of anything so far, but I just wanted to share that.
Perfect. No, like I said, we appreciate everyone's thoughts on it, because we obviously want to create a fundraiser that's going to bring in a lot of money, but also that like gets you guys' participation and your excitement and your involvement.
Which is hard to do.
Yes.
So I commend you guys for doing it.
Well, thank you. One last thing before I forget. So we were thinking of maybe doing like gift wrapping as a fundraiser, kind of going to different malls or different shopping areas and volunteering to do gift wrapping at places. Again, it kind of runs into the whole like finals, traveling out of town, but it could be a really great way to like come for a few hours and be a part of it and just wrap a few presents. And hopefully that would be low cost, like just because we can have the materials like reimbursed by CUSOTA funds. So, so if that's an option, like we would love to get that set up. But do you guys think that would be something you'd be interested in? Again, it's like,
the holiday time.
yeah, it is hard with the holiday time, so we understand.
So that would be one where you're not paying.
Exactly, you're not
Like a
paying,
little donation.
and like the time that you're giving is pretty like,
Then, or how, or you get-
we'd charge like a fee probably,
Oh,
like,
okay.
or based on
But it-
donations.
yeah, it would
However,
be donation
yeah.
based, so
However,
people
like
give more
the-
than they can.
I'm sure we would have to talk to the facility and kind of see like how they would want to do it. But so that could be, just a really good option, and it would be a very low commitment. You don't have to, it's not hard to wrap presents. Some people really enjoy it, so. But yeah, so that's just another idea too. And we're trying to do a bunch of little fundraisers here and there as we go on through the year. So that way we're not kind of like in April being like, oh my gosh, we have no money. Now what do we do? Oh, and I forgot to talk about this earlier, but in the survey, the results, someone had mentioned kind of like when you would get the money. So for Dean's reimbursement and for funds through CUSOTA, you won't get the money until after you go to conference. Unfortunately, again, you have to go to conference, so we have to verify that you were at conference. So we cannot provide the money to you guys before conference. So just keep that in mind when you're buying plane tickets, hotel rooms, conference tickets, that you'll get all of that money after the experience. And speaking of conference, as you guys all know, it's March 30th through April 2nd in Philadelphia, the 100th anniversary. I know last meeting we talked about if you guys wanted to volunteer, and it's not open yet, but it will open on December 8th. And the spots do fill up very fast. So if you are interested in volunteering, just maybe make a note of it on your calendar. Okay, so we are I'm trying to get clarification from the campus CUSOTA, but I believe the way that it works is that if you volunteer at conference, you are given an expo pass for the day after you volunteer. Now there is some debate as if it's for the day after or if it's for the same day that you volunteer, just after you're finished volunteering. So I'm waiting for clarification right now from Sarah. So as soon as I get that, I will pass along that information. But as it stands right now, we believe you get it for the day after you volunteer. Also, it looks like the dean has set the reimbursement for this year. And so right now it's set for $200 for 70 people. So the campus class is trying to, they sent out a survey and we will include it with the link for today's meeting, but so that we can get a head count of who is actually going to conference. Obviously that's set right now for the $200 for 70 people. So if more than 70 people go, then it will be less than $200 for each people, but that's what it has been set for this year. And then again, yeah, the dean's reimbursement and all the money is given to you guys after conference. Okay, speakers. It seems like from the survey that everybody has been enjoying the speakers so far, but we're always looking for some. We won't have one in our next meeting, but for spring semester, if you guys have anyone or a topic that you think you'd like to hear more about, please let us know. If they can't make it here in person, they can always do a video beforehand. So we're really open to whomever you guys want to learn more from. And on that note, we'll welcome Craig. Craig, for those of you guys who don't know, he's a certified occupational therapy assistant. He's also Mandy's roommate. But so he's gonna talk about his perspective as a CUSOTA. So welcome.
Yeah, so I'm a CUSOTA, works at Spalding Rehab Hospital, which is out in Aurora. Before that, I worked at Eastern Seals of Colorado in their rehab and stroke day program. So kind of went from the end of the healthcare spectrum to basically the beginning of it. And I also worked PRN at Spalding for a year and a half before I got the full-time job. So my transition into full-time is a little different than most people anywhere else. So the first day, I think, as full-time, I had probably a full day of treatment. I just kind of got thrown into that, and then mentoring and orientation on top of that. So it's been a month. Yeah. So, I graduated from PMO, which is an associate's degree, and before that, I went to CSU and got a bachelor's in sports medicine. So that background on top of the occupational therapy degree. The associate's degree is only in 2 years, which I could have gone right into that at high school if I wanted to. I didn't need to go get a bachelor's. I did want to. So it's 2 years, and our class ranged from 18-year-olds to late 40s, early 50s, I believe. So there's a wide age range in that. So at Spalding right now, I'm the first CUSOTA they've had in 10 years maybe. So with policies and everything changing throughout that time, we're still trying to figure out what I can and can't do. I need to get co-signed by the primary therapist, and yeah, it's really the learning curve for everyone in that building right now. They also just hired a new PTA also. He's new to this too, so there's 2 new assistants at both departments now. Right now there's 7 full-time OTs and 2 PRN OTs that I deal with on a daily basis. So I guess right now they don't have enough people for me to have my own caseload right now, so I'm covering other primary therapists' patients throughout the day. So for each treatment session, I'll go talk to them and ask where the patient is, if they have certain things they want me to work on the patient with, and just see any tips and tricks that he needs with each patient. And then so sometimes they'll give me specifics and they'll say strengthen the shoulder, or they'll just give me broad stuff and say work on ADLs or work on transfers or things like that. And then, so some days I'll have treatments in the morning, and in the afternoon I'll shadow different OTs and just watch them and see what their different treatment techniques are. So right now, I deal with the OTs a lot, but once I get my own caseload, the only thing I'll have to go to them for is making sure they co-sign my documents, and if I need to change the care plan at all. Other than that, it would be more distant supervision of the population. Yeah, do you guys have any questions or anything more about?
Once you get your own caseload, will you be working with all 7 of the OTs? Like, are these all patients that they're making a plan of care for? Or is it more like you're working with like 1 to 2 OTs as their OT things?
Yeah, so once I get my own caseload, I have a primary OT that I'll go to
Okay,
and talk to them, but plan of care comes directly from the doctor.
okay,
So we have 2 doctors in the hospital full-time, 40 hours a week. So if we need to go change something, we can write a script for it, go to them, they'll sign it, and they'll do it that way.
gotcha, okay.
When do you anticipate getting your own caseload? Like,
Yeah.
how long does that take?
It depends on the census of the hospital.
Okay.
Right now, it's really, sorry guys. Right now, the census is really low, so some of the OTs are they're just getting PTO days, and then on those days, since I'm still in orientation, I go cover their full caseload throughout the day. And they've left treatment ideas for that day.
Like, and you said you've been there for a month,
Yeah,
and you're still in orientation?
sort of.
Okay, is that, how long does that last then?
90 days.
Okay,
It's 90 days.
Okay.
Mine kind of got streamlined because I've been like for a year and a half. And
okay.
new lots of stuff.
So what's the supervision look like right now?
Right now,
OT or all of them?
right now, it's weird right now. I guess I just talked to the primary therapist. So I'll see 4 or 7 different patients from the 7 different therapists today. So I go talk to them one-on-one for the treatment and after treatment if I've seen something. So it's, I guess, distant supervision or one-on-one. Just kind of depends on the therapist and the patient I'm seeing.
Is that like just you wanting to go and talk to them and get an idea, or is that like required to
It's
go
not
talk to
required.
them?
I can just look at the stop chart and read what's going on and go see the patient if I wanted to. But usually I go check with them because they have certain things they want to work on their treatment plan.
Like kind of complicated having like potentially like 4 or 5 different OTs to go to chat with. I feel like that would be like whose patient is whose.
Not really, because so the patients are divided into 6 teams. So each team has an OT and PT. So I can look on my schedule and see who the primary therapist is and just go talk to them. Most of the time, they'll actually see who I'm treating and come talk to me and tell me exactly what they want.
I know you just started full-time a month ago, but even when you were working PRN, did you ever work with an OT student?
Since I'm not, there were OT students there, but I didn't really have any interaction with them
Okay,
because I'm a CODA.
yeah,
I can't, I told them things and taught them different treatment techniques, but not really.
okay. Because I mean, that's just something we touched on in lectures, how we could potentially be working with quotas when we go out on our field work, so I was just wondering if
Yeah,
you had.
I haven't had I guess, level 2 field work.
Anything?
Yeah, I'll be there in the summer.
Okay, then I'll be coming. But so far, I have not dealt with OT students in that.
Hey Craig, could you share with the students sort of what the OT and OTA process looks like at Spalding? For example, when a patient gets admitted, that the OT would eval, set up a plan of care, and maybe some of the treatment, and then how you're involved in that, and how you guys work together to make changes to the goals, or if you do any other follow-up assessments, and maybe that's what we're speaking to.
Yeah.
We're still figuring that out.
We're still,
But that would help them
Okay,
sort of like
so-
understand how both of you guys work together and what the OT is responsible for and what you're responsible for.
okay. The responsibilities we're trying to figure out. So.
Okay.
But I've done, the OT will come in and do the main eval, and then I've done shower assessment, vision assessment, I've done MOCA, I've done pre-driving screens, kitchen or assessments. So they see what the patient needs on their eval, and then from there's different assessments that I can do. It just kind of depends on each
So you might do some follow-up assessment, but you're also doing treatment.
Yeah.
But the OT is setting up and does the initial eval
Yeah.
and says, here are the goals.
Yeah. So if it was my own case, I will say, the OT would do the eval, they give long-term and short-term goals. And from there, I would look at those goals and figure out where the patient is and then make my plan of treatment for them. And if I had any questions about that, I would go talk to them. So we can put advice, say, no, don't do that, or do this, or something like that.
But you have a lot of independence in how you do your follow-up and your treatment and what you're going to focus on for that session.
Yes, for that session.
Yeah, right.
So, it's a weird situation, that's not normal. But, so yeah, I can walk into a patient's room right now, and so we have whiteboards on their walls which say assist levels, what they use for adaptive equipment, their DNVs. And from there, I can kind of see where they are and make a treatment plan for that day from that. But
And you don't need to like confirm that with the OT, primary OT or therapist.
yeah.
Can OTAs specialize in a certain population that they want to work with? Kind of like OT, I mean, we graduate as general practitioners, but we'll specialize in peds, working with CP, or in geriatrics. Is it kind of the same thing, or do you just stay general?
There's OTAs can specialize too, so I really want to get specialized in stroke.
Yeah. So is that just further training that you guys
Yeah.
have to do?
Right now, there's brain injury courses I can take, I'm certified in brain injury, there's different stroke certifications I can get, which is more continuing ed training that we can get. So one of the, not the OTA, but the PTAs, she specialized in the student trainings. So
Okay,
there's
very cool.
different specialties that assistants can get.
Okay.
And can I just add to that, AOTA offers specialty certification, board certification, specialty certifications for OTs and OTAs.
Okay.
So for community reentry, for feeding, eating, and swallowing, OTAs can also be specially certified in a particular area. Yeah. When it comes to like documentation, do you have to be signed off on every single treatment session, or is like every 5 you have to have like a supervisory visit, or?
So right now, it's not every treatment session, but if I did, so we call them S days, which is like our discharge days, if I did that and then had to do more assessments on them, that has to be signed off. Daily treatment, no.
And then you don't have like a check-in visit with like OT? Yeah, at my field work, just my level 1 and 1 week, they had I think it's state per state, it's a rule, but I had a COTA as my fieldwork educator, and every 5th visit, she used the OT to always just like be in eyesight of the session to make sure like everything was aligning with the clinical care. But
that would be if I had my own caseload.
okay,
But
That
right
makes
now,
sense. Because they're going to see them the next time.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'll see them and then
gotcha.
the OT actually go see them that afternoon.
Right.
What was the fieldwork process like in your program? How many fieldworks did you
So I
have?
had 2 1 weeks and 2 8 weeks.
Okay. And did you have like a variety of different places that you could choose from?
So we
Or
chose our
settings.
setting and
Okay.
then our fieldwork coordinator. That was something different.
Okay, but so you had a little bit of like independence to choose, like, oh, I want to do pediatrics, or I want to do others, or
Yeah.
however that
So my
works.
first one I did at Easter Skin, actually.
Oh, okay.
Got a job in that one. Then my second one was at a hippotherapy down in Parker. Third one was at a SNP in Lakewood. And then my fourth one was at preschool.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a nice variety. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say that you're looking for in the relationship between a COTA and an OT?
Just to keep me in line with the plan of care. So if they read a note and I'm way off with what I'm doing and not going towards the goals, I expect them to come set me back on the track for the treatment plan. But and then I go to them. Right now, I have back and forth with all most of the occupational therapists. So they'll come to me and say, what happened? And I'll tell them, oh, this worked, this didn't work. And they'll try what I tried instead of what they were trying. So it's just kind of, I expect like an open relationship back and forth instead of more of a, I'm the OT or the OTA. Do what I do.
Have you had any bad relationships with any of them, or just any type of conflict? Not that.
Yeah, not along those lines.
Is that needed? Or something? Okay.
Yeah. Not yet.
During like your educational program, did they say anything like about the relationship and how that should be built? Or just like from your guys' perspective?
So each setting I've gone to has been different on how the OTA, OT relationships are. That Spalding did, okay, so it's back to Easter Stills. I was actually the assistant program director in the OT. She was my supervising therapist, but I was the manager. So that one was more, she would come to me and say, all right, what do you want me to do today? And then I would tell her, so I was with the patients all week and she'd see them 2 hours of nothing. So, yeah. Easter Seals is a very different thing.
Have you gotten working with like other health professionals?
Oh, yeah. PT, I collaborate with PT, speech, nursing, with the doctor every day. One of the PTs came up to me the other day and asked if I could assess one of our patients on a toilet transfer, to see if he could be independent and doing that. I went in and did that, and we told her, we told the primary therapist, and we told the nurse that I served independent.
So that was something the PT asked? Was that like at all in the plan of care or anything, or how did?
Clearing them for independence in the room is the goal that occupational therapists want. So that was just part of it, and he was discharging 2 days later, so it was kind of to see if he was safe in the home. But yeah, PTs can come up and ask us to clear him for toileting, and we can clear him, or ask PTs to clear him in the room for walking around with whatever device or without device.
Does Spalding do like interprofessional meetings with all of the different disciplines to discuss patients, or is it just kind of case by case?
They do, so they have team conference meetings. I've never been in one of those because as a CODA, I'm not allowed to. Because Medicare.
Even if you had your own caseload?
Yeah, so then I would write a conference note of where the patient's at, and the conference OT would take my notes and go into the conference and talk about my patients. So, and it's because of Medicare. So we're just trying to figure all this out, but assistants aren't allowed to do as much with Medicare patients. But in that meeting, there is case manager, doctor, speech, nursing, PT. I think it's just those ones there. And then they probably go over 8 patients a day, I would say. The only thing that sucks.
Do you think that you'll go on to do OT, like your doctor and master's in that, or?
Maybe. I'm okay with not being in school right now. I did a lot of that, so. But there are bridge programs where I can just go. Yeah, I can just go to that program and they'll take this, my, or the system of OTA degree and prereqs, and then start going to those. But I'm not taking my work for it.
What did you like about Spalding, just in general? Like what drew you to work at Spalding?
Actually,
Just
my
happenstance, or?
Well, first, the OT at Easter Seals, she worked there. So there was an opening and she was talking to her manager. The job I was applying for was actually posted as an OT job. So I did an interview for that. they offer you a PRN job. And then bringing you full-time was first. All the OTs there are very teachable. So I'm getting to learn a lot about the acute setting. So that we're moving towards just that. The OTs they're very knowledgeable and they're very open to teaching.
So you're in the acute setting there?
Acute rehab.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Craig. Thank you. Jill, did you want to?
Yeah, well, just like a quick thing. To those who came to the conference, it was a ton of fun. We had a really good time. We learned a lot. I guess just my big thing, I don't know how many more CUSOTA meetings we have this semester. So
Just one more.
That's what I figured. And then starting up the next semester, I will be transitioning out of my OTAC rep position, probably starting in March. So it gives a 2-month transition time into May. So any OT ones who are interested in becoming the next OTAC rep, feel free to talk to me. You have to be a CUSOTA member to be eligible, and that's the association's rules, not ours necessarily. And anyone can be it. And so if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll coordinate a time eventually to have the election, probably around March-ish. But yeah, just let you guys know if any OT ones are interested. So.
All right. Well, I don't think we have too much left. The one last thing I want to talk about is just that we noticed just from the survey that you guys asked a lot of questions, which is awesome. We really appreciate it. But don't feel like you have to have an anonymous survey to ask us questions. We are always here. You literally probably always here. And before and after the meetings, we're really quick with our email responses. I'd like to think that we are very easily approachable. So please don't ever feel free like you can't ask us anything. A lot of you guys had like very similar questions. So I think it's worthwhile that if you have one during a meeting to bring it up in the meeting, because someone who's watching it online probably has the same questions. So that was just my one last thing I wanted to mention to you guys. So the password for our meeting today is election. And our next meeting is going to be November 30th. So again, it's going to be a Wednesday from 4 to 5. We're really just going to kind of recap the semester, talk about things that we want to get started for the next semester, and we'll have free food for you guys. So please come. It'll be a lot of fun, zero stress. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming.
I love you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for getting on.